This was a project I did for my language and gender unit for AS English language, and this project was put together by me and a friend, and it aims to explore how different genders manipulate, control and dominate each other. TV depicts our society. We can see folk linguistics and stereotypes through gender representation in popular soaps. Reality TV is a fairly new genre and shows how we actually talk and actually behave. Desperate Housewives is a popular soap and has great examples of genders trying to control and manipulate each other. So the first clip shows how a man's dominance is ruled over a woman's, and you can find it as the link is written in the more information section. At surface reading, the woman seems to be powerful and a controlling character. But the more we look and the more we see, he is the dominant one. The conversation begins by him questioning her. Also, despite her efforts to persuade or make him feel guilty, he responds minimally. He dismisses her effects to make him feel guilty. His response and ideas are more important than her, and she is not taken seriously. He laughs. Also, when you look at the kiss, he moves in to kiss her. He is the dominant one. It is also ends with the question that puts him in control. He says, "Say bye to me." And the second example is an example of how a woman is in control of a boy, but this is in a parent-child relationship, so obviously it's a bit biased. This is a great example of a mother controlling her son. We can see this through the various strategies, but ultimately she appeals to emotions to manipulate him rather than power and authority. We also see that she appeals to the boy's positive face. The younger you are, the more gullible you are to this politeness method. It is also a feature commonly connected to women. We can see a lot more paralinguistic features and such as facial expressions, intonational emphasis, which all support intensifies, which are used as sympathy, which he tries to create. So why does Desperate Housewives have such useful content? Well, because it uses classic stereotypes and gender representations in the story. For example, 90% of the female characters are housewives, and it is mainly the men who are the big earners with the big jobs. What is funny is that yet this sexism exists in the program, it still appeals mainly to women. I myself enjoy it thoroughly and put myself in the character's shoes so often, yet I am a woman. The scenes shown to you aren't the main ways in which the genders dominate each other in this program. For men, they mainly use authority, voice, and anger to dominate, whereas women either play with emotions to dominate or use sexual methods such as wearing revealing clothes and flirting. In reality TV, we looked at the two main big programs, The Family and Big Brother. Typically, women are seen to control and manipulate men through seduction and flirting in these programs, just like as a stereotype in Desperate Housewives, whereas men are seen to control through anger and are more aggressive. It's strange, it's the same as Desperate Housewives. Though on my research on reality TV, I have seen this is partly true, but I don't think it is a fact which we can set in stone, because there are other methods which were researched. Now you can't see very clearly, but I put together a table after watching reality TV dramas such as Big Brother and The Family. What features are used by each gender to control the other gender. So I'll just read them out to you. Key features to men include rudely interrupting, speaking with a much louder and serious tone, using taboo language and swearing a lot more, giving minimal responses, and being interrogative. Features common to women include repetition to get the point through, a lot of physical touching and getting close to the man, very supportive to everything said by the man, apologize when trying to persuade, appealing to the negative face, the language is more colourful, they threaten more, they use more tag questions, and they are also keeping the conversation going through overlapping. Features which were common to both were asking questions, i.e. initiating, shouting, and being competitive. So as we can see, some of these features do. Ugly Betty. Wilhelmina and Daniel have the same position and both have different gender assistants. And we can see that Daniel responds to his assistant with more minimal responses than Wilhelmina, even though their conversations are more cooperative. Looking at all three assistants, Mark, Betty, and Amanda, it is the male one that has the most authority, yet the female one has more intellect. It is weird because in this soap more women are in power, and this is a drama which is popular to both men and women. When we compare both editors-in-chief, we see the woman exploits her voice more to show her power and authority and dominate the male assistant. In the whole program, women are shown as two things, either powerful or as objects, i.e. models. In a relationship like Matt and Betty, Matt has more control, but in relationships like Daniel and Molly, the woman is dying, and this automatically gives her more authority. In a single-sex conversation, women have more small talk, and this fits in with the folk linguistics. In comparison to Desperate Housewives, when we look at the mother and son relationship in Ugly Betty, the son has more control. This is perhaps because the program does not follow many stereotypes as Desperate Housewives, and the women are shown to have different roles. In contrast to that, Betty and her father, it appears that her father has more control over her. And that is true, but we see that in the last episode she is getting more powerful, i.e. the moving in with Matt issue. Features I found interesting to do with women is that they appeal to emotions when they talk, and they boast a lot more. That they also have more paralinguistic features. For example, they have more facial expressions. They also tend to repeat a lot of what they said. Perhaps this is a way that they dominate the other gender. Finally, I think it is quite funny that in all the relationships, for example, Matt and Betty, it is the men who are usually depicted as taller. The OC, the YouTube clip given in the more information section, depicts an argument between Summer and Seth. In this example, we are able to see the way in which men and women both try to gain control of each other. At the start of the conversation, Summer uses an aggressive tone to try and grasp control of Seth's rash behavior. Cohen, you're making a scene. I'll IM you later. This argumentative technique can be used to try and scare the opposite gender, and is greater emphasized by the paralinguistic expression on her face. However, Summer does not succeed in controlling Seth's behavior, but in fact provokes it further. Seth uses derogative terms to state what he wants and try to force her to comply. Let's talk up here. He further strengthens his argument while trying to sympathize with her. Summer, I know you're scared. Yet these devices still do not work to gaining control of Summer. She still states, yeah, I know of you. This humor is used in a way to try and deflect the scene, for she is embarrassed due to the situation. Seth uses self-deprecating humor to try and gain sympathy of Summer, so he is able to control her action. Seth uses a mixture of body language and a pled for Summer to show her love to him. By stretching out his hand, he puts himself on the line for rejection. This clip shows that Summer is caught between two decisions of what to do. However, she can see that Seth's determination when again he thrusts his hand forward for Summer to take, and she cannot reject him, for she realizes she loves him. This scene can show that men and women are not so clearly cut in separation of gender. Men do not only gain power over the woman by strength and being muscular, but we are able to use more feminine, vulnerable side to gain control of women. Thank you for visiting. Please visit my blog, rate, support, and comment.